You could say then that it's very important to me that we're on the same vibration, that you feel me, and that you understand that this message is really coming from a place of love, and that I want to be serious and playful, and the furthest thing from a boss or telling anyone what they should or need to do. So some of you may know that I'm into sound healing and vibrational energy work. I love this stuff, man. I study this stuff, I play with this stuff, and today I'm going to use some of that experience to share with you maybe a little different angle on energy and words. Today's leading quantum theorists studying the mechanics of quantums, the quantum mechanics, excuse me, are exploring now the very intersection between science and metaphysics and where those two things meet. Quantum entanglement, for example, shows how an intention or an effect in one place can actually affect another particle or another object thousands of miles, potentially even light years away, in the very same instant. Science is literally looking for and discovering, in fact, the nature of consciousness, the secrets of vibration, and we've even teleported, yes, teleported, bits of information across great distances in an instant. Nikola Tesla tells us, if you want to unlock the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy and vibration. Let's turn the key a little to unlock a secret. Words, of course, are sound, and sound is energy and vibration. I'm learning about sound and energy and vibration. As I'm learning that it has a three-dimensional form. The study of these forms is called somatics. My word energy is leaving my body and it's moving out from me in all directions. It's not just a flat plane or, just something that moves by. It exists in space. Intention is also a form of energy that we can express and feel. However, it's not necessarily something that we can hear, but it can be carried by sound. Think of a letter in the mail, maybe being the energy or the intention or the message, and the mail person who's delivering that as the sound. So the sound carries the intention. There's fascinating new evidence in the field of somatics that mandalas, which are the beautiful geometric patterns in art and architecture that we see, which show us the forms of the seed of life or the tree of life. We see stained glass windows in ancient cathedrals and even monasteries may have been crafted, in fact, in the physical form of sound. Sound made flesh in this world. A map or a reminder. The temple of Borobudur, I think I'm saying that right, in Indonesia was built in the 8th and 9th centuries. When viewed from above, we can observe the perfect somatic form of the frequency near 3.4 kilohertz. I'm going to geek out on you here for a second, but stay with me, okay? Looking at it from above, it is exactly the two-dimensional representation. It's a picture of the three-dimensional form of that frequency. Stick with me. It's carved from stone and left behind in a way that can only see above, could only be seen from above, and it took 200 years to make. This frequency, by the way, is known as a healing frequency, one of the many healing frequencies used by Dr. Rife in his machine, which has a very interesting story in history before vanishing. It was reported to cure many diseases, among which included cancer. Is it possible that the vibrational signature of the building itself can create and radiate a form of healing energy just by being there? Maybe. There is a universal law here, though, that applies. It's the law of reciprocation. As above, so below. Now, on to words. Okay? Om. We all know the word. Many of us know the word. Many cultures regard the word Om as a primordial sound, the sound of creation. In Christianity, the word of God was the sound that created all things, including light. In ancient Egypt, they believed that Thoth spoke the world into existence. Some words are held as sacred and powerful, and their meanings are used by millions to invoke calm or blessings, strength, courage, peace, shalom, amen, namaste, all powerful words. Likewise, we can understand sounds without words, and some of these sounds carry complete emotions as a full expression. For example, when we hear the sigh of a child, leaning and nestling into the breast of its mother in comfort. What do we hear there? We hear the sound of comfort and safety. We know this sound. We can write entire stories around this sound. This is something that we feel. This is something that might warm or comfort us, maybe even bring us to express that gratitude outwardly. In creating sound, we use our own words to move emotional energies and intentions into the world. And naturally, we move them well, right? We've been making noise and talking all of our lives long. Every day, we use our words to carry the energy of our feelings, like satisfaction or joy, like pride or disappointment. Some of us do better than others, some worse. Some are masterful and uplifting. Think of the Joel Osteens or the Tony Robbins of the world. Some are divisive and manipulative with their energies. We use word energies outwardly, and these energies affect people. They make them feel a certain way because of the energy that we charge them with, and also because of the relationship that person has with that energy. Many of us use word energy inwardly. And why we should do this in love, and forgiveness, and support, kindness, we often speak and focus these energies upon ourselves at a lower and hurtful vibration. We sometimes use negative self-talk that might lower our feelings or personal value or self-esteem in a way that I don't deserve that or I'll never measure up. We really have to be careful with our words because the magic is in the essence. It's in the higher vibrations. It's in the thought. It's in the intention behind them. And we have to be mindful because if we're not, we might let the wrong energies out through our words and hurt someone's feelings, even by accident. More so, we might let that energy slip into our own self-dialogue. It happens all the time, right? We often forget the magic and the power of our words. We might become a little complacent in the guardianship of how we say what we're saying. Maybe it's just because I'm in a mood, I'm in my own little world, whatever that might be. But take, for example, how easy it could be to misconstrue energy. Maybe someone who's quitting smoking, right? They might be in such internal turmoil that even them saying thank you sounds like leave me alone, right? I mean, words, energy. Truly, in every way, it really is the emotion. We often say energy in motion, right? It's the intention. It's the inward awareness within the vibration of the words that touch our naked ears, that speak to our souls. I will never get tired of hearing I love you and feeling that energy that goes along with it. So what about all this sound and vibration stuff? Healing, feeling, energy, intention, magic, architecture, art manifesting in the physical world. I think there's something to it all. Sound and subtle vibration are in fact the first senses that we develop in the womb. They're also now known to be the very last of the senses that leave our physical bodies as we transition from this world. I'm coming to believe, in fact, that we're transparent to one another energetically. And we teach here at the Home Center that there's no separation between us, right? That we're all one. Our inner spirits see each other. We hear each other's inner truths. We feel the energies that are there. On a subtle level, they come through. We don't always perceive it easily because we're so used to the noise level that comes through in every direction. We may even have our daily shields up. I don't care. That doesn't affect me, whatever. So if there is something in all this, which I know there is, why not get on board? Let's play with it a little bit. Use your sound and vibrational energies. Demonstrate them. Think of that temple, Bora Bordur, right? Set something. Put a monument out in this world. Our founder, Jay Smith, would teach us to bring new tools into the world and demonstrate them, test them out, get feedback, and try them again. So put a monument out there. Speak your words, make them flesh. Just in the same way that we learn to talk, we're not all going to be good at it right away, right? Put something amazing out there, man. Put love, gratitude, support, and then observe and see what happens with it. Look for that magic in things every day. Tune into the beautiful feelings and speak on it. It feels great. I want to leave you with a little bit more thought here. In the ministry program, we learned about speaking impeccably. It sounds big, but it's really not that big of a deal. Trust me. To speak impeccably, and I'm going to read this directly. To speak impeccably is something I'm learning about through ministry and working on myself. It means to use words in a way that is honest, authentic, respectful to others and to yourselves. It involves being mindful of the impact of your words and choosing to speak in a way that is positive, uplifting, and true to your values. To me, in a nutshell, this is the invitation to the big adventure. This is where the magic is. All of it makes sense. Scientifically, it makes sense to me. Vibrationally, it makes sense to me. Energy, causes, effects, entanglement. So why not really go big with it? Why not really play with that magic and the flow of impeccable speech? Honesty, mindful impact, the energies of intentional, directed vibration. What could really hurt there? How about directing that impactful vibration of impeccable flow into conversations with yourself? What would happen if our inner dialogues were truly positive? What would happen if they were really uplifting, mindful, true to our values when it comes to ourselves? How would that flow impact our relationships? What if we could speak our truest words in alignment with our truest feelings, knowing that we're engaged in an impeccable conversation with this person or that? I know it might seem like a stretch. We can begin by having impeccable conversations with our Creator, with our guardian angels, and with our guides. They'll listen without judgment, but we got to be truthful because they know our lies. That might be stretching, but it's positive, it's uplifting, it's mindful, and it's true to our values, right? Usually stretching leads to less effort. Maybe we can have those impeccable conversations with ourselves next and stop being mean inside. Positive, uplifting, mindful, and true to our values. Two people coming together and having an impeccable conversation, I think, brings the very light that's spoken of in all of the great spiritual texts. Thank you. I'd like to invite Connie back to the podium.
I would say that was pretty terrific for backed out for the shorties. Lynn and I are the little shrimps compared to Jerry. Jerry, that was very good. And for your first time, excellent. We were trying to come up with some kind of a title for our joint talk this morning. We came up with energy and energy and vibration. So I'm going to be continuing to talk about energy and vibration. Life is about frequency. There's another word that has to do with energy. And in particularly the frequency of joy. And you have the ability within yourself to change the frequency, to direct the frequency, to remodel those frequencies. This is the path of awakening or ascension. Time has come for humanity to realize the profound energy that exists behind the ability to give intent. One gives intent for something to come into their experience. The intent behind energy is that it allows the mind to traverse the playing fields of creation. This statement is paraphrased from the entity Master Kathumi, and he's channeled through Chanel Wingerfelder. The fields of creation are referred to as the fields of intention that Dr. Joe Dispenza has spoken about and called the void, and the fields of possibility, endless possibility. And some of the videos that the congregation has watched on Wednesday evenings, he has talked about these fields, these fields of intention, of possibility. The word void is often used to describe the place that you can get to where your thoughts quiet down. Sometimes it even looks very black to you, but it's where you create from. And we just watched one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's talks where he was explaining the interconnection between the heart and the brain in creating that space to create from. Moving on, the Home Center's founder, Reverend J. Smith, would remind us this world is like a Disneyland. It is not a penal colony, he would say. It is a place to create and have fun. Just give intent for what you want. He talked about putting pictures on his bureau mirror in his bedroom that he put energy into every day to help him bring into creation, giving the intent, I want this. Life is about frequency, and the human beings have the ability to change the frequency of their thoughts. We can do that in an instant. We can change our thought. We just have to have that awareness of what we're thinking that Jerry talked about. They can choose to redirect low energy thinking into high energy frequencies. This is their pathway to awakening and becoming conscious, and is considered the way in which to ascend 3D reality. Give our intention, use our words, use our thoughts, and of course use our actions. When one embarks on the journey of awakening, enlightenment, and spiritual discovery, they have a need to choose to face all the facets of their self before they can move into the higher realms of learning. That's paraphrased from Master Kathumi. This is presently where I think most of us are. We're in the process of taking a look at ourselves. And if we aren't, we probably should be. We look at ourselves. We use a little psychology on ourselves. Because there's a need for us to wake up. There's a need for us to become self-realized, enlightened beings. And we do through spiritual discovery. We discover that we aren't just a human body. We aren't just a human being. We're more than that. We are also a spiritual being. But we indwell a human body. It doesn't mean that your body isn't important. It is. It's your vehicle through which the spirit is able to experience this outer world. Recently, the Rising Suns men's group that meets here has been taking a look at their shadow side. All of us have this buried away stuff in our subconscious mind that's referred to as the shadow. In Richard Root's book, which I've mentioned many times, the Gene Keys, he always has a particular gene that has a shadow side to it. It has a gift side, and it has a spiritual side that he calls the Shidi, I think it's pronounced. And one of these is the shadow that goes with ecstasy. Ecstasy is a high vibration. It's one of the vibratory words for joy. That's a high spiritual of it. The shadow is seriousness. Us intellectuals tend to be a bit serious. And the gift is delight. The gift is delight, which is one of the synonyms for joy. I looked that word up, and joy means great pleasure and happiness. And synonyms, some of the synonyms are delight, exhilaration, rapture, exuberance, and so on. I've used these things so many times they're falling apart. Yes, one might find it is time to uncover the Binford 5000 mind they have stored away in that dusty corner of their spiritual tool shed and look for the manual on how to operate this most powerful and wonderful machine. After all, it was a gift from the divine being of creation, from his company, right? Yeah. So take that out. I spoke about that 5000 mind a number of years ago when we were looking at spiritual tools. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the company Binford, it came from a program called Home Improvement, and Binford was the sponsor of this man's company. And he would take their machines and he'd soup them up. One episode has him souping up a lawnmower to the point that the lawnmower takes off and he's running down the side of the freeway with the lawnmower. Yes, powerful energy. Certainly, joy is preferable to feelings of stress, fear, chaos, anger, and other undesirable experiences. It is the gateway to experiencing feelings of peace, joy, and contentment in our life. The advice given by Master Kuthumi is when experiencing displeasure, be it feelings of being disgruntled, sad, depressed, conflicted, or angry, try shifting your focus from that to the feeling of joy. Well, that's a big challenge at times. I certainly remember one morning having a quarrel with someone, which ended with them throwing these very powerful, angry words at me, and them landing right here in my heart center with such force I felt like they'd reached out and punched me in the chest. That's how strong words can affect the feelings of another person. So that's why we need to watch what we say. And we need to become aware of when we're experiencing those more negative, conflicting times and not take them out on other people. How can we take and transmute them within ourselves into the higher vibration of joy? That's a challenge. You might say that the high vibration of joy is an ultimate goal that we want to achieve in our lives. Don't we all want to experience joy and happiness and fun and all of the delight of life? That's what Jay meant about. It's a Disneyland out there, but it's up to you to choose Disneyland over the penal colony. In order to keep yourself in this wonderful, joyful state of being, what could a person do? They would need to remember that they create their own reality. We create our reality. How? With our thoughts. Yeah. All that is necessary is to clear their personal energy field. We have to clear out that debris, that garbage that is accumulated in our subconscious mind. This entails letting go of our worn out beliefs, resentments, judgments, angers, and old memories that no longer serve our soul. And for many of us, this emotional baggage is starting to come up, but it's also coming up along with wonderful memories of our past as well. That's so that our recording device within us, which records everything, every feeling, every thought, every emotion, every action we have in our lives, has the ability to transform and change what is stored there. We can do that. We truly can do that. How do we do that? This is best accomplished by quieting the chattering of the ongoing thoughts that go through our mind. Boy, they go through at 1,000,000 miles an hour every moment of every day. But we are usually not so aware of them until they kind of slap us upside of the face, right? Then we need to give the ability to tune into this through our higher self. Our higher self is always in knowledge of everything that's going on. It knows the plan, the Creator's plan for our lives here, for our planet, for all of us. I feel it would definitely be a good time to go into your spiritual tool shed and get that Binford 5000 mind out, as I mentioned. Yes, I advise you to take it out of that dusty corner and use it in a manner that it was designed to be used. It only needs the high octane thoughts to fill it to the level of joy. Oh well, if you don't want to be bothered, just ask for help. It is always there. In fact, the Christian leader, Master Christ Jesus, said, "Ask and ye shall receive." It is all about remembering that we are energy beings of light and love who can work with the energy of our thoughts to create a new, more exciting world to experience. A heaven on planet Earth, a place of joyful fulfillment and peace of mind. With that, let's go into a little meditation. So let's just take a few deep breaths together. One more. And I'm going to use that word that Jerry mentioned, Om. Om. We're going to do a little visualization exercise this morning. We're going to visualize placing the word joy, or writing it if you want to see that being done, on various chakras. And we're going to begin with our brow chakra located between our eyebrows. So take a moment and place that word in that energy center of your being. Next, we're going to move to our heart, which is located right behind your collarbones, to the heart center of the body. And here again, place the word joy. Now we're going to move into our lower chakra centers. We're going to begin with the solar plexus, located a little bit above your belly button. And we're going to put the word joy. In fact, you might even want to write it in glowing letters. Next, we're going to move it down just above your pubic bone to the sacral plexus. And we're going to write that word joy there as well, or visualize it there. And last, you take it down to the base chakra, at the very, very end of your spinal column. And write that word joy. Now, I want you to ask yourself, did you find yourself feeling joy? What were you feeling? Did it bring a smile to your face? Did you know that a smile comes when we feel joy? Give me a moment. Begin to bring yourself back now. Come back into your body. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Open your eyes and come back. I'm still trying to get used to remembering to speak right into this thing. Okay, so next we're going to move into our offering. And Tasha's going to pass the basket around. So we take our gift to the home center into our hands. And this gift, as we've explained many times, doesn't necessarily have to be monetary, but we always, of course, can use monetary support for this building and our electricity, our heat, and everything else we have to have here. However, you can also put a prayer in there for the highest and best good of this place. Or there's a information on the basket for doing it online, paying through PayPal, I believe. All of those ways are perfectly acceptable. So let's just put them into our hands, and then we're going to give it a little blessing. We're going to give it the energy of love, upliftment, and joy. And we're going to pass that on through whatever our gift is out into first the congregation here in the home center, and then on outward into the community, and outward until it circles back around to ourselves, flowing over with goodness and richness and abundance. And so it is. Amen. And while the basket is going around, I'm going to invite Lynn back up, who's going to be giving us an inspirational story, followed by the closing prayer. I'm not sure it's totally inspirational, but I did find it humorous, and maybe it is inspirational. So, the woman was being tailgated on a very, very busy road, similar to Lancaster, and this man was just right on her tail and just and just having a fit and yelling at her for not going fast enough and all of that. And it was just terrible. Suddenly, the light in front of her changed to yellow, and she chose to stop because it was a crosswalk and she wanted to be safe. Well, the man dropped his phone and started yelling even louder and bigger and just acting just really very much out of control. And he's just furious, honking his horn, screaming, just being very, very not so nice. And as he was screaming, he heard this knock on his window, and he looks up, and there was a police officer asking him to get out of the car, put his hands above his head, and he took him in and had him arrested. He arrested him, he fingerprinted him, and took a picture of him, and all these different things. And it's awful, put him in a cell. So a couple hours later, the police officer went back to get the man, to bring him out, give him all his belongings again, and he apologized. He said, "I am so sorry. I really made a mistake. You see, I was behind you as you were yelling and screaming and cussing, and I was reading all your bumper stickers. And your bumper stickers said, 'Do you pray? Will you follow me to church today? Have you gone to Sunday school? Come to Sunday school with me.'" And he was so baffled. The police officer said, "I thought you stole the car." I thought that worked with the energy and being true to our energy. And believe it or not, I chose that before I knew what Jerry and Connie were speaking on. And spirit works. Spirit works in good ways. Now, if you'll please join me in closing prayer. Thank you. God, thank you for our abilities to speak, think, and act in harmonious ways. Thank you for all the peaceful connection with all living beings on our planet. Help us to maintain loving balance in mind, body, and spirit with the words we speak. And think in our thoughts and our minds that we do think about ourselves, as Jerry said. When we breathe in the oneness of the universal good that is in us all around us, in everyone, we can magnify peace, harmony, and balance in our lives and share it with our community and the world. And so it is. From our heart to yours, thank you for attending, and home center out. Not as smooth as you, but I tried. Thank you. Thank you.
For those